Hello there guys, welcome back to Younes Talks Football, welcome back to a brand new video. I hope all of you are doing well. If you're a Chelsea fan, I hope you're doing better. If you're not a Chelsea fan, you're loving life. This is next level banter for all of you, isn't it? This is, and to be fair, make the most of it. Make the most of it. Because if it was another club, I'm sure we'd be reacting the same way. It is part and parcel of the game. It's your turn to laugh, so giggle away, right? We couldn't care less. Oh man, we do. Well, we don't care that people are laughing. We care about the depths of hell that Chelsea Football Club are plummeting themselves into because of certain decisions. But anyway, we're going to get into everything that's gone down today. Boy, do we have a lot to get through. So make sure you're going to stay tuned. But before we do, I'm going to start off on a good note. I've got a little gift for you. So here it is. Today's video is brought to you by Surfshark. Surfshark is a VPN, a virtual private network with a robust data protection service. This means that I'm very well protected and all of my videos, photos, direct messages are all safe. One key advantage to getting Surfshark is being able to change your location to wherever in the world that is listed and using any streaming service from that specific location. That comes in handy when trying to access a Saturday 3 p.m. Premier League game that isn't on UK TV. There's no limit to how many devices that you can use Surfshark on at the same time, and it's available on all platforms like iOS, Android, Microsoft, Fire TV, etc. For all of you watching, Surfshark are offering a massive 83% off and 3 months for free. All you have to do is use the code YTF to take advantage of this very fine offer. Link is in the description, so make sure you hit that now. Use the code YTF and take advantage of this fantastic offer. Let's get right back to the video. Right, and don't forget, secondly, check out social media links in the description. Twitter and Instagram are there. Also, tomorrow, you're going to be getting another feature where Mr. George Benson, GBFC, is on the channel, and just like me, going over onto his channel. So make sure you're checking out both of those videos that are dropping for you tomorrow. In relation to what I'm about to discuss, basically, although we go a little bit deeper, we start to actually try and find solutions. We got to try and find where we're going to go from here, lads. You know, we're going to find if, and this is what today's video is on, if a decision is actually going to be made sometime soon, right? Clock's ticking. What are we waiting for? I'll get to that shortly. But afterwards, where do we go? Tomorrow's videos are going to explain everything for you, so make sure you guys are here for that and enjoy. Let's get cracking. Firstly, before we get into the whole situation after yesterday's horrific display at Tottenham where Chelsea lost 2-0 with another dire performance, more dropped points, no wins, no goals, no nothing. I'm going to, talking about goals, I'm going to show you something that is actually funny. Like, it's sad, but it's funny, right? At this point, you just gotta laugh, because if you don't laugh, you're gonna cry. Now, personally, I'm not going to cry. I actually just find this hilarious. It's as I've said, it's sad. It shouldn't happen, but at this point, it's just funny. Check this out. João Felix's goal against West Ham will win Chelsea's February Goal of the Month award because it was their only goal this month. I mean, Chelsea Football Club, ladies and gentlemen. Chelsea Football Club. Chelsea Football Club in 2023 have to give out a goal of the month by default. I mean, what has happened to this football club? What has happened to this football club? And yeah, I thought I'd start on a little laugh, right? It's funny. It is funny. It is funny. If I read this for another club, I'd be screaming right now. So I have to admit, this is banter. This is great banter. Chelsea have hit new lows. I mean, this is unbelievable. They've scored 1 goal. We scored 1 goal this month, therefore we can only give the goal of the month to that goal. Unbelievable. Now, talking about what went down yesterday, Graham Potter, the situation, I think it's safe to say, right? I've been observing, I've been looking, and I think it's safe to say that basically all of you, maybe bar 1 or 2 people, right? And even those people are probably looking at this going, I don't think we can hold on anymore, right? Everyone has turned. Everyone has now looked at the situation and come to the consensus that Graham Potter is no longer fit to remain as Chelsea manager. Am I correct or am I correct? Right? You're watching this right now. You can nod along as you're watching, right? Yeah? You're nodding. Yes, you are. You're nodding. Okay. That's basically all of you, right? Or near enough. All of you watching agree it's done for him. Everyone that was on the fence, everyone that was Potter in at one point, everyone is now looking at this guy and I have to be Potter out. I am obligated now to be Potter out. And I hate to use those, that Potter in, Potter out. I'm not about that. Hence why I've not really had them in my titles. I just say, get Graham Potter out the club. or sack Graham Potter has got to be done. Todd Boehly, get rid. But Potter in, Potter out, the whole debate, everyone has basically migrated over to Potter out now, right? It's clear as day. Except for a couple of people that actually run the football club, right? Hey, Todd Boehly, Eghbali, who else? I'm not going to say Christopher Vivel because apparently he's actually a little bit on the fence, what I'm glad to hear. But everyone else, Clear Lake, everyone that runs Chelsea Football Club, what are you waiting for? I woke up this morning thinking we might actually get a statement. I think it's possible. We might actually get a statement today. Because yesterday was the low of the low, right? You expect a reaction after the Southampton game. You expect something. And then we get that. After having players rested, players come back from injury, a week off, not just a week off, 7 days of training, not just 6 days, 7 days of training. Half of the week we spent off because we wanted to protect players, so players actually got some breathing space, and that was meant to work. And then we show up yesterday and we put on that display. So I looked and I thought, okay, this is the low of the low now. We're gonna get a statement, aren't we? Surely I wake up tomorrow morning, and I said yesterday in the review, within 24 hours this needs to be resolved. Guess what? It's not. It's not, and we're going to get into why. We're going to show you everything that's gone down today because there's a lot to get through. Let's starting off with what Matt Law reported earlier on today, starting with the message from the Chelsea owners remains one of wanting to provide support and backing, and yet the growing feeling around Chelsea is that the next 2 games will ultimately be make or break for Graham Potter. Goes on to say senior Chelsea players are said to be concerned over whether or not Graham Potter can turn the situation around, new signings shocked by the pressure they are already under, and anger amongst those who are having to be left out of the matchday squad. We're going to come to that last one in a little bit, but I can't comprehend where this feeling of having to still back and support this. Bruv, as I've just mentioned, every single supporter can now see the light. Except the Chelsea owners. It's bonkers. What planet are you guys living on? It's insanity at this point. I'm actually bewildered at how these owners are still going ahead with this. It's shocking. But we're going to come to more detail afterwards. One thing that I have to stress is that the wording in that from Matt Law and the wording from others I'm going to show you later seem to say that the growing feeling, the feeling around Chelsea is that the next 2 games will ultimately be make or break, right? The feeling. It's not a definitive, it's been put to Graham Potter, the next 2 games are his job on the line. That's what I want to hear at the minimum. And even that's not acceptable to me right now. I don't want him to even manage Leeds. He's not fit to even manage Leeds. Let alone Dortmund. We're going to come to that in a bit. I've got a lot to say about the timing and the time frame or the time scale that these owners have decided to put on this decision. It is absolute insanity. But if we're talking about more coming out from, and this time not Matt Law, but from Matt Hughes, check this out. Graham Potter fears his training sessions at Chelsea are being undermined by having too many players to work with. After a month of working with the larger group, there are now concerns that the bloated numbers are affecting work on the training pitch. Instead of his preferred method of running 11 versus 11 training matches, Graham Potter has been forced to alter his coaching sessions to keep all the players involved, or leave several hanging around or working in a smaller group elsewhere until they are required. So let me get this straight. I can now understand why it says some players that seem to like Graham Potter, because I can tell you, and this is from experience, anyone that's played football at a certain level will be able to say, if a manager tells you we're going to play an 11 versus 11 today for training, it's the best thing you can hear. Right, it's the best thing you can hear. You get to training, the one thing you want to do is get straight into a match. You don't want to do drills. You don't want to do any sort of practice sessions. You don't want to do any mini games. You don't want to do any physical drills, any bits of ball work. Ball work isn't so bad, but you want to get straight into a game. You want to get straight into an 11v11. It's the best thing you can hear on the training ground. So I can understand why maybe some people go, oh, Graham Potter. Yeah, no, I like playing for Graham Potter. It's because they're basically giving them what he wants, right? Anyway, if the squad is so bloated in training, then please tell me why in the blue hell are we deciding to play players that we know are not going to be here beyond the summer? If he's struggling in training to be able to manage the numbers, which, by the way, I have to say is actually quite unbelievable for a manager at a top level to be struggling with a certain number. Now, some people are going to say, no, but the squad is too big. Absolutely. But a manager of Chelsea Football Club, an elite football club, should be able to manage a squad of 30. Even in training. You should know what to do with a squad of 30. Even ultimately, your ideal scenario is to have a squad of 23, 22, 24, not 30. But if it's that's what you have, you deal with it. But ultimately, that should reflect in your selection. That should reflect in the players that you don't want involved. Why in the hell is a Ziyech involved in? I've got nothing against Ziyech, but Ziyech shouldn't be here right now. He should be in Paris. If it weren't, George said this perfectly in his video yesterday, if it weren't for a fax machine, right, or a dodgy email sent at, 10 seconds too late, Ziyech wouldn't be here right now. He'd be in Paris playing with Neymar, Messi and Mbappe. So why is he starting against Tottenham? This is so you're having to struggle in terms of the numbers in training, but then you're including the players that basically are not going to be a part of your plan post the summer, and players that are actually being included that even shouldn't be here. Koulibaly is another example. As it stands, he's going in the summer. We already know this, unless if a new manager comes in and decides to get the best out of him, which I do have to say I think is a big possibility, just like it happened with Rudiger. But that's my own personal opinion on Koulibaly as an individual. With Graham Potter right now and the way that Koulibaly is at Chelsea Football Club, it's already been made public that he is going to be going in the summer, or at least we're going to entertain it. Why include him? There's players hanging about that are being included in the match day. It's a contradiction. The whole thing is a massive contradiction. So I don't understand. Now let's get into this point. This is going to be interesting. This is from Matt Law again. The next two games are make or break for Graham Potter. Telegraph Sport understands more than one player was shocked to find out he wouldn't be on the subs bench against Spurs. Go back to that point that I just mentioned, didn't I? Why is that then? Why is that? I wonder. We get into this, which is what Matt Law said. Potter claimed Kovacic had missed the game due to illness and said Chalobah, Chukwuemeka, Cucurella and David Fofana were unfortunate to miss out. So we now know the players that were pretty much angry with Graham Potter yesterday or shocked that they didn't even make the bench. Chalobah didn't make the bench. Tough for him, I can understand. Fofana's back. Badiashile somehow made the bench. Don't understand. Koulibaly is involved. Chalobah's going to have a tough time. Chukwuemeka, absolutely, I agree as to why. Why is he not on the bench? Chukwuemeka's done nothing wrong. Absolutely nothing wrong. Cucurella, he's been off form, so I can. And again, should he be on the bench just in case something happens to Ben Chilwell? Probably. If not, who's going left back? David Fofana. Kai Havertz automatically gets back into the team and plays 90 minutes. What? You know, we were talking about Aubameyang, and then if it's not Aubameyang at best, come on, play for Fana. He's not even in the squad. I can absolutely agree why they're not happy. These lot are not happy. So now you go back to managing the players in training. These are the sort of players that you should be focusing on. Not the ones that are going to be leaving or the ones that should have already left. I don't understand. And then we get more. Wait, you think we're done? We're not done. We're nowhere near done. Let's get into this. More from Matt Law. Chelsea have tried to liken their backing for Potter to the backing for Arteta. I don't know what to say. Oh, man, I don't know what to say. It's like comparing apples and pears. It worked for Arsenal and it worked for Arteta, despite circumstances being completely different. Also, therefore, it's got to work for Graham Potter. I'm actually hearing from ex-professional footballers, big pundits. Oh no, but Graham Potter. You know what? It's Chelsea. They're bringing in an inexperienced manager. It's not the. No. Don't play that card. Do not play that card. You want to talk about inexperienced? Yeah, Arteta was inexperienced. That was inexperienced. But even Arteta, learning under the wing of Pep Guardiola, gets thrown into his first managerial role at Arsenal, and it pays off. Started off very dodgy. Started off low. Gets a bit better. Not a lot of resource either. He does win the FA Cup pretty quickly. Gives some fans at least something to hold on to and go, maybe we stick with this just a little bit. And funnily enough, they beat us in that FA Cup final, so... And then there's progress. You see steps. With us, we've got someone who has self-admittedly come to the press conferences and spoken about how he's from the 9th division of English football, how he smashed it in Sweden for Östersunds, how he's been angry and he's been very nice over all the years that he's been a manager because he can't get to the place that he's got to now if he wasn't. So he's publicly made his CV aware to everybody. He's not inexperienced. That's the difference. And what he done at Brighton, that's not inexperience. He is an experienced manager. He's not an experienced manager at the highest level. That's the difference. So it's absolutely incredible how we're trying to compare. I mean, Graham Potter did it yesterday. He compared himself with Arteta. He compared himself with Klopp. I mean, oh my God. He was talking about watching the Arsenal All or Nothing documentary. I mean, these are things that you do find on Twitter. These are remarks that I expect from just fans, from supporters. I don't expect someone with an emotional intelligence master's to be making these sort of comments. It's way below your pay grades to be making those sort of comments. Absolutely insanity. Goes to show, as far as I'm concerned, it just screams desperation. Anyway, we get into more news from Sami Mokbel. Doubts are surfacing over Graham Potter. More pain against Leeds on Saturday. We may find out quite how tolerant the owners are. And if we're going to be talking about just how tolerant the owners are and what it's looking like, we got news this evening, or well, late afternoon. From this, I actually don't know if it's true or not. I have to be honest. And if it is, then my mind is blown. My mind is absolutely blown. If what I'm about to show you is actually legit, then we've got no hope for this football club. Check this out. So Chelsea FC 365 have put some from their sources. Chelsea admirers of Thomas Frank and others. Vivel has doubts over Graham Potter with hierarchy concerned. That second part has me optimistic. But the first part, we're talking about Thomas Frank. We're talking about the Sporting Lisbon manager. I mean, we're talking about, there was Thomas Frank, there was someone else. Someone else that was fairly low. And again, no disrespect to Thomas Frank or anything, but I'm sorry, we're asking to get rid of Graham Potter to bring in someone elite, right? Or someone with pedigree. And this is what we turn to. I hope this is not true. I hope that's not true. Genuinely, fingers crossed, that's not true. Simon Johnson then gives us an update in the late afternoon telling us Graham Potter took CFC training today as the club continued to stand by him. So Chelsea stand by Potter despite mounting pressure. Chelsea are not planning to sack head coach Graham Potter and will continue to give him time to turn results around. The Englishman is under increasing pressure. And the article goes on to explain just how that Graham Potter took training today. It was business as normal, as quoted in that article. Business as normal. Business as normal. This is business as normal. 2 wins in 16 now? 15, 17, 18 games? What's the stat? I've lost count, as I said yesterday. I think it's 2 in 16, 2 in 15 league games. If I'm not mistaken, if that's correct or incorrect. I've not been here before. We've not been here before talking about relegation and all of that. So I don't know. When it gets to the bigger numbers in that sort of aspect, I'm inexperienced. So the fact it's business as usual. Absolutely incredible. Incredible how they see it as business as usual. But all the points that I mentioned before, talking about how some players are now bewildered, some players are thinking, what? Some players are like, I didn't make the squad. Some players are shunned in training because the squad's too big, apparently. All of these things are causing grave instability within the team now. And Graham Potter cannot do anything about it. And there's many things that are due to him. Simple. Absolutely simple. But according to the owners, it's business as usual. Incredible. Now, Nizar Kinsella, who I have to say has been very unreliable lately. Very unreliable, and I have to be honest there. I'm going to show you what he said, but I can only say take this with a pinch of salt because it may be true, because he had sources. He's been well connected before, but he's just been unreliable lately. So check this out and take it as you will. He writes, Graham Potter understands upset and angry Chelsea fans after latest loss. Graham Potter has the continued support of the owners. Todd Boehly was down in the dressing room area with him and the team after Tottenham. That unity and his personality are helping him maintain dressing room support in the face of bad results. When you hear Matt Law and Simon Johnson and others say otherwise in terms of certain things happening among some players and whatnot, it begs to differ. I don't know which is actually legit. Ben Jacobs comes out finally with this. Graham Potter got 2 games, in my view, to turn things around. Otherwise, the owners will surely have to make a change regardless of their desire to judge him in years, not games. Now, again, that sounds like just a personal opinion. Much like Matt Law, sound like a personal opinion. In 2 games, it's all going to change. I don't know if that's actually the case. And this leads me to the point I wanted to mention at the beginning, which I left until now. What is it that the owners are holding on to? Why are we waiting? What are we waiting for? Because let's put it into perspective here. We're on this road. Does anyone actually believe it's going to get better? It's done. It's done. We're now talking about players being unhappy in certain things and training and bewildered. I haven't made the squad. All of that sort of stuff is only going to make things worse. Now, there's actually doubt from some players as to whether Graham Potter has it in him to turn this around. When players have doubt, when players feel it, you're finished. That's what they call you're losing the dressing room, mate. Yeah? That's when it gets to that point, there's no way back. There's no way back. You're toast. So if it's got to that point, how is it that the owners have not realised this yet? And what are they holding on to? Because let me put this into perspective. If they are actually looking at the Leeds game and the Dortmund game as games where they're going to analyse Potter for the last time and wait for us to get eliminated from the Champions League to then make the decision, they are insane. Why wait? Because let's put this into perspective now, even further. If we were to get through to the quarterfinals, even with Graham Potter, right? Say we beat Dortmund. Okay. Does anyone actually believe we're going to win the Champions League? If we keep things as they are right now, are we going to go all the way? Answer that for me. I can tell you now a resounding no. We are not going to win the Champions League in this state, the way that we're playing with Graham Potter. So what's the point? We're in a situation right now where Europe is far, 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 far beyond our reach. We don't even think about getting a Conference League place at this rate. Don't even think about getting top half of the table at this rate. We're talking about relegation now, and we're not even laughing anymore. We are in relegation form. The last 6 games in the Premier League, we are 19th. Just to put it into perspective, the last 13 games, if I'm not mistaken, I think we're 16th or 17th now. It's relegation form. We keep this up, we've still got to play the rest of the Big Six. We keep this up, we still got to play hard games at home. It's not going to get better if we just do nothing. So if we actually were to continue, you think we're going to win the Champions League? Because for us to play Champions League football next season, guess what? Newsflash, we have to win the Champions League this season. Once again, just like we did in the past. But if it's not going to happen under Graham Potter, if it's evident that these performances are not going to get better, what are we waiting for? Make the change now and salvage something for the second leg, because I could bet anything right now that if we were to make the change, that second leg against Dortmund, you're going to see a different Chelsea. You're going to see a Chelsea that actually beats Dortmund convincingly, gets to the quarterfinal, and then we can even start talking about winning the whole thing, because that bounce is going to get everyone rejuvenated. And you watch these players, especially the ones that we've brought in, that are rejuvenated, energized, optimistic, happy, enthusiastic, and ready to play their football at the best level. You wait and see what they are actually capable of. But they're not going to do it with this. Playing like this, the way that we are right now, with Graham Potter, you're not going to see it. So what are we waiting for? Everyone can see it, except the owners. We're going to wait for Leeds to lose that game. And then we're going to wait for Dortmund to get knocked out. And then we're going to go, oh no, you know what, Graham Potter, I think you got to go, mate. Too late. Too late. The season's dead. The season is dead. You might as well keep him. And maybe we'll head to the Championship. Yeah, we'll head to the Championship and then we'll win that, get promoted, and then they'll get praised. This is what's happening. It's quite shocking. It's quite unbelievable. The owners need to wake up to the severity of the situation. I don't think they realise just how bad this is. I think the inexperience and the naivety is kicking in to the fact that they haven't been in the game for too long and they're not actually aware. Maybe in the States this is acceptable in those sports over in the US. Here it's not acceptable. It can't fly. There's way too many circumstances and there's way too many things that are important for things to decline to the way that they are right now. That can't fly. In the States, all those sports are literally littered with money that you basically don't even have to worry about performance because it doesn't even affect you financially. You just go, it's okay, we'll go again next week. No, that's not how it works here. That's not how it works here. You look at the salaries and the investments and all of that. Go and look at how much investment there is in the United States in their sports. NFL, NBA, NHL, MLB, all of those over there. Go and look at how much money is there and then come back and look at even here. Even the Premier League, with how rich the Premier League is, nothing in comparison to what they do in the States. The salaries are bonkers over there. The investment is insane. Even the money in college sport, university over here, over there is incredible. They've got 80, 70, 60,000 seater stadiums in their universities. It's unheard of here. It doesn't exist. It tells you everything. The models are different. I feel like they're coming with a complete American mindset to here and thinking, yep, the way we did it over there is going to work over here. No, I'm sorry. It's not. And they're about to find out very, very soon. And a dark day of reckoning is coming very, very soon if they think they can just stick with this and go along with it and think it's okay. Things need to change right now in order to salvage something, because they're going to find out that without European football next year, then they're going to look at their pockets and go, you know what? We've actually been affected. And that's just financially. Then you're talking about getting players in, and you're talking about where are we heading to. Then you're talking about there's no European football we at all. We finished where in the table if we don't get relegated, And then from there, where are we going to go from there? Where are we going to finish next season? Where is it all going? Where is it all going? You have to take this into consideration. Make the change now. We've done it before twice, and it's led us to glory. Do it again. Salvage what we have of this season that we can actually fight for, because we've got something to play for, and then start building for the summer. Start seeing from now who we're going to get in, even if it means waiting for the summer to get a top tier manager in, and then we go again in the pre-season, and this time they can take the club forward. But this cannot continue. This needs to be addressed, and I'm worried. I'm scared now. I'm looking at this and I'm thinking they don't see it. Everyone can see it. We can all see it, but these guys can't see it. I'm shocked. Absolutely shocked. And they're going to wait until after Dortmund. What's the point? So let me know down below how you will see the situation. And we'll address this even more tomorrow. We'll see what the latest is. And for those of you that there are going to be a lot of people that are looking at this going, Younes, I'm dead inside. I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to get angry. I'm not going to speak. I'm just going to look. It is what it is. I'm just going to. I respect that to a degree. I'm not. I'm going to keep this going. I've got tons of energy. I've just started. I have just started. I am going to get this all the way, right? Until when I hope, that something changes. I'm going to use as much of the influence that I have, even if it's minuscule, to get my opinion across in terms of what I think is right, and to hopefully, in the best interest of this club, to get something done sooner rather than later. Sooner rather than later. That's the key. Make a decision now. It has to be decisive now. Proactive, not reactive. Now. Anyway, let me know how all of you see it in the comments below. Much appreciated. Don't forget, check out Surfshark, link in the description. Get yourself that deal now, and I will see all of you tomorrow. Hit the subscribe button if you are new. Hit the notification bell to be notified once I've uploaded. Smash the like button if you've enjoyed this, and I will see all of you tomorrow, people. Have a good one. See you later. Take care, and peace.